Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to Unparalleled Universe for another action figure review, kinda. Today what we're going to be talking about are these really weird skeletons that I found at my local Home Depot. And the way that I stumbled upon these things is because I saw someone post about them on Instagram, and I can't remember who because I was just digging through hashtags and stuff like that, and I came across them, and I just thought that they looked really cool, so I went ahead and went to my local Home Depot, and it turns out there was like 30 of them or something sitting on the shelf, and I was kind of blown away because these things are actually pretty decent quality and they were really inexpensive. They only cost about $5.50 each, and that's crazy because these things aren't as cheap as you might think once you hear about them. You know, they're like in the Halloween decoration section, you know, so they're not like you know, they're nothing special. They're just kind of thrown in with a bunch of other different random Halloween stuff. But once you pick them up and start messing with them, from like a action figure fan perspective, they're really impressive because they have like ball joints and they're pretty articulated, and you could get them into some really cool poses. As you can see, I kind of got this one over here in like a Spider-Man type of pose. This guy's kind of crouched over looking crazy, rocking you know, Steve Rogers uniform, and you'll see why this guy ended up with this Commander Rogers uniform probably in the next video, and I'm really excited about that. But yeah, we'll talk about that later. And yeah, these things just look really cool and creepy. And like I said, I'm just kind of blown away by how good they are. They don't feel cheap. At first, I thought they were going to be like that weird hollow plastic that they use for a lot of Halloween decorations, but that's not the case. They're actually pretty solid. The arms and legs are like solid plastic. They're not hollow. The head's not hollow. The chest isn't hollow. And it just feels pretty sturdy. And, you know, they have no problem standing up. You know, they can fall over a little bit because the joints get a little loose if you mess with them a lot. But yeah, they're pretty sturdy. And as you can see, they're nicely sculpted. You have like the rib cage going on here that looks nice. The skull looks nice. And there's actually some paint wash in there. So, and first off, if you pick up one of these things, the first thing you need to do is switch around the legs, because I noticed that right away you can't really bend his legs back. Or actually, I might have already switched this one. Yeah, I did. Let's see if I still have one that I haven't switched. Basically, the legs are backwards, so you have to pull them apart and put it back together and make it right. Oh, you know what? I might have done it on all these already. I was hoping I could show you, but basically what you have to do is pull the leg apart right here at the hip, and as you can see, they pop right out. You basically just have to switch them around and then pop the feet out, switch those, and then you're good to go. But yeah, these things are pretty interesting. Like, check out the articulation here. So like I mentioned, they actually have like little ball joints, and you can see right here in the shoulder, it's like a little ball joint. And it kind of, it's a weird little joint because you have to move it in like certain positions in order to get his arm to move certain ways. But it works. Look at that. You know, he's got like his arm could go all the way around like that, and then you could shift the ball joint so his arm goes up and down like that. Shift it back around, you could get it to go like this. How cool is that? And then at the head you have a little ball joint. Again, it's all, the joints are the same everywhere, so it's the same kind of concept. You have to kind of move the joint around if you want to get his head into different positions. And some of the joints are actually stuck a little bit, but yeah, there you go. You gotta get his head tilting to the side and up and down. And then for the torso, you have like a little joint right here where the pelvis and the spinal cord or spinal column meets. And look at that. And then he has little ball joints at the hips. They go all the way around, come out to the side. You have a little upper thigh swivel. And then you have a single jointed knee here with the little ball joint at the knee. And once you flip the legs around, he could still only get about that far, but as soon as you pull him off the pegs, basically his leg is turned around and you can't really bend it at all. It's pretty much, it'll look like this. You know, I should have switched this back around to show you, but it's all good. This is just a quick little video. But yeah, basically when you pull him off the shelf, it's gonna just barely move like that. So once you switch the legs around and all that good stuff, it'll have a nice little bend to it. And then for the feet, you have a little ball joint, so you could get his, look at that, his feet can go up and down like that. You get him to go to the side, then you have kind of like a rocker ankle going. You could really get him into some cool poses. Like I have this one over here, crouching down, kind of like in a Spider-Man pose. Look at, you could get him in like a Spider-Man swinging pose. And yeah, like I said, his joints take a little bit of work to get him how they're supposed to, but once you do, you know, you're good to go. You can get them into all kinds of good poses. Have them creeping around all weird. And because they're so inexpensive, you could kind of grab these and just mess around with them, experiment with them a little bit. I try to put a little wash on this one, as you could see. And I kind of got lazy with it because I only did it right here. I should have went through the whole body, but you can see it looks cool. And I also did it on this head, and I really like the way it looks. I like this one a lot. This one is probably gonna like hang out on my miscellaneous shelf, and these guys will just be like a skeleton army. Who knows what I'll do with them. And I might end up buying a couple more of these things just because they're so inexpensive and they're so cool and they're so like satisfying, you know, like I'm telling you, when I bought the first one, I literally messed with it all day. I wasn't at my house, but I stopped at Home Depot on the way to somewhere, and then I had the skeleton guy in my pocket, and I was taking it out of my pocket and messing with it all day. And it was just it was just a lot of fun. It was like the most fun I ever had with an action figure that cost me as much as this one did, you know. It's crazy. Look at that. That's so cool. And it just looks so creepy and weird. And, you know, obviously, I think the big appeal for these things is, you know, how they could fit into your collection with other action figures. And they're definitely a little too big for Marvel Legends. Let's get a couple of Marvel Legends in here so I can show you. As you can see, they tower over the Marvel Legends Pizza Spider-Man, and they're not really going to fit that good with Marvel Legends, especially like the regular human-sized ones. But if you go ahead and put someone like Hercules along with them, I think they work really good, especially as like an inhuman, weird type of army, you know, maybe like an Asgardian army. They could work like against Thor, but you know, against bigger Marvel Legends, I think it kind of works. Of course, these skeletons kind of have big heads, so they look unnatural, but you know, if that's what you're going for, I think it'll work out pretty good. And then here's a look at them next to the Marvel Legends Bucky cap. And again, you could see that they tower over a Marvel Legends figure. But let's go ahead and see what else we could do here. Here they are next to the recently released Stealth Gomez, but with the diabolic head. And I just have him like that because I think he looks awesome. I think, I'm sure, you know, there was a bunch of people that did this way before me, so I don't want to take credit for this idea, but I think it looks awesome. And shout out to whoever thought of that first, because that's really dope. And yeah, again, these guys look really tall next to Mezco figures. But let's see what else we have going on here. Here we have the NECA Superman. And even next to him, they look a little big. So, yeah, you know, like I said, there's some potential if you want to get creative with it. Or even if you want to pop their heads off and just use them as bases for like some custom skeleton figures. I think that'll kind of work, but just as is, they're incredibly fun figures. They're super inexpensive. So anyways, guys, I think that's it. In the end, I really like these dumb, cheap Halloween decorations. They're a lot of fun to play with. They're very inexpensive. And if you want to get yourself a skeleton army, I highly suggest that you check these things out because they're just awesome. And it's a good base. Even though they're not perfect, I'm sure that you could make yourself some really good skeletons out of these figures, and you could probably get them to fit into your various action figure lines. But yeah, these things are really cool. I don't think I'm going to customize them too much because I'm really happy with how they are. The only thing is I might add some paint to them. But yeah, these things are just a whole bunch of fun, especially for $5.50. That is just insane, and I just can't believe what they what they did with these little things, putting all those little ball joints in there. And they don't look bad, you know, they look like good looking skeletons. So I'm going to go ahead and try to leave a link to the Home Depot website where they have these posted. I'm not sure if you could buy them off there. You probably can, but it does show you that how many are in stock at your local Home Depot. So hopefully that's helpful for you, and you could go out and find these if you're interested. And another option is, I believe that Big Lots sells the exact same figures. The packaging looks a little bit different. The packaging is crazy, like cheap. It's just a piece of cardboard with a you know, twisty wire holding the skeleton onto the back of it. But yeah, it's crazy. And these things could be found in the Halloween decoration section of either Big Lots or Home Depot. So yeah, good luck if you're interested. I suggest you go out and find them, and it's pretty easy. I stopped at one Home Depot, and there was, like I said, there was like 30 of them. So I was able to get these 4. I'm sure that I'll probably go back and buy some more because I just really like them. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And thank you very much. Peace.